The Early Weigh-In podcast is back off the heels of a massive upset at UFC 328. Head back to the Apex. Competition with the Netflix card this Saturday. We got UFC Vegas 117, headlined by featherweights Arnold Allen and the streaking Mekwuzel Costa, man. One of these under-the-radar cards could end up producing a ton of finishes. Before we get started, going back to 328, recap how we finished up real quick, man. Finally back in the green for me after a couple rough weeks. Good night for the podcast. I hit my plus money play, barely. Hit the parlay piece, hit the best bet given out on the podcast, but the main event not going the distance, or main event going the distance, the full 25, made me give a little bit back, but unit plus 1.44 units, man. Can't complain. Keep it in the green this week. How'd you finish up?
So got me a little streak going. Happily finished in the green as well. Not by much, but we will take it. I think it was a little over half a unit. I had 3 bets on the card. One on Mateusz Rebecki. He did not get the win. I hedged it with the under, which didn't look like much of a hedge until the last 30 seconds. I think with 18 seconds left, Grant Dawson was able to sink in that nasty rear naked choke. Yep. So that one kind of evened out. And then I hit Volkov, which a little controversial. I'll take it, though. I thought he won, but there was a little bias involved on my side. So,
I thought he won, too.
Yeah. So give me a little dub right there. I'll take it. Hopefully going into this week. I actually love some spots on this card, so I'm happy to dig into it with you. We start in the featherweight division in our main event. Arnold Allen taking on Mekwuzel Costa. Melky Costa is one of these guys who I do feel like is currently just on a sun run. Maybe everything's lining up for him right before he hits 30 years old. I've tried fading him a few times now, and I'm not sure if this pick is fueled by hate or what it is. Maybe he is just that good, but he's knocked out a few guys who have iron chins, and he's going up against Arnold Allen, who has shown some weaknesses in the chin in previous fights. And so I am a little worried, and it seems like a lot of people are jumping on this the momentum that Melky is carrying into this fight. The line has come down significantly from the opener this a few weeks ago. We're getting into almost pick'em range. I thought I saw minus 120 on Arnold Allen before we started this podcast. I love Arnold Allen, though, man. I think he's super solid. He's been in the upper echelon of the division for a really long time. Everything he does is solid. Like I said, he has been chin checked a couple of times, but he's never actually been knocked out in the UFC. So that's it's hard to knock him for that. I've seen him in a few fights take the later half of the fight off of fighters, just having like a good cardio, even though he carries so much muscle. Or I've seen the exact opposite in Mekwuzel Costa, who has dropped a few of those later rounds. The biggest one that sticks out for me is the Julian Erosa fight. You're dropping the 3rd round against Julian Erosa. It's usually not the case, So in a 5-round fight in a smaller octagon, I don't think that Mekwuzel is going to be able to have that distance to be able to throw these spinning heel kicks, have the distance to really measure it out. But at the same time, Arnold Allen does just kind of have a berserker method where he closes the gap with reckless abandon, and there will be opportunities for him to get caught. But if he does find his way on the inside without actually folding, man, I think he lands the bigger shots. I think he has better cardio, more experience. And he's still only 32 years old, so I do think that he's still in his prime. He's had a tough run of opponents in his last few fights, and I think that this is maybe his most favorable matchup. So at minus 120, I know you're on him. I'm going to be on him too. Let me hear your breakdown. Just make me feel even better about it.
Yeah, man. So, I'll start off by saying career trajectory-wise, when you look at the two on paper, it does seem like they're going in opposite directions. You got Arnold Allen, who doesn't fight that often and has lost 3 of his last 4. Probably not gunning for the belt. And then you got Mekwuzel Costa, and the same time Arnold's fought twice. He's on a 6-fight win streak, fought 6 times. 4 of them are finishes. So, Costa's riding high, and I get that's why he's taking money this week. But you got to bring in the level of competition that Arnold is fighting, and I think that's why he's still open as almost a 2-to-1 favorite. Like, we're talking about one of the best featherweights in history in Holloway. We're talking about maybe the next 2 title challengers in Evloev and John Silva. And, it's not like Arnold doesn't compete in those fights. He's not getting blown away in any of those moments, So I think the one advantage that I think Costa has here would be ever so slightly in the volume and mainly in the kicks. We've seen kicks at times stifle the volume of guys, but Costa's also doesn't have the same open stance here because Allen's also a southpaw, and so that head kick he landed on Morgan Charrier and stuff like it's not open, and so I think that takes away a lot of Costa's main weapons in favor of Allen there. And so you talk about the power upside, it's on Allen. I think a lot of the finishing upside he has late in this fight. I actually think the wrestling is going to get stifled. I don't think Costa's going to have much success grappling, and I think it's Arnold Allen that could find success on top and ride out minutes, use the veteranness, late in this fight. Better boxer, more physical, more durable. You talked about the small cage, 5 rounds. I bet this guy at 185. I've got him bet at minus 166. And, dude, I don't know. I don't know how much exposure, like you talked about, you want on a guy who's lost 3 of his last 4 fights. But if it gets plus money, I'm willing to have 4 units on a guy that I think should be 66 to 70% here. So Arnold Allen, pretty confident play for me this Saturday. Co-main event, Doo Ho Choi versus Daniel Santos. Not the biggest name value, but one of those sleeper main events, co-main events, going to be just fought at a ridiculous pace. Both defensively poor fighters. Should be a good one while it lasts. Choi's already got a fight in the Hall of Fame as it is. So as it's going to go down, I can't say I have like the clearest read, but I think Choi is clearly fought the higher level guys without a doubt. He's got the clear metric advantages. He's the natural featherweight here. He's not the bantamweight who struggles to make weight. I think since returning from the military, he's looked good, but Bill Algeo and Nate Landwehr, where they're at in their careers, it's a bit hard for me to kind of judge where Doo Ho Choi is, but I think he's undoubtedly the better striker here, holds way more power and could find some success early in this fight. It's just the small cage and the pressure of Santos, man. He comes forward. He has a constant work rate, like willing to put up a ton of volume, willing to attempt numerous takedowns. He's not going to give Choi that clean technical fight he wants. And then bring into the activity in this fight as well. Choi hasn't fought since the December of 2024. We've seen Daniel Santos fight twice in that same span. So I think there are a couple things that lean the favorite, but to me, man, at the current number, I see plenty of advantages for the underdog in what I think is probably going to be a high-paced striking fight. I've seen Doo Ho Choi dig deep. I've seen his technicality on the feet. So I think at plus 136, I lean the underdog. I'll take Doo Ho Choi here.
So different opinion on this fight, but not a lot of conviction coming from my side either. I tried fading Daniel Santos with Ju Sang Yu in his last fight. Dude comes in missing weight. I mean, I really don't like the guy. I like the way he fights, but I really think that his last fight specifically was a little dirty. Also, I couldn't change my bet because they just made it a change weight and catch weight, and I was in for the ride. So I will say, out of the 3 Korean fighters that he's fought in his last few fights, I think this might be his worst opponent, even though he is much more experienced. I think, Doo Ho Choi is well over his the pinnacle of his career, and he's had some really favorable matchups, man. You touched on it, Bill Algeo, Nate Landwehr. I love Nate Landwehr. We both love Nate Landwehr, but dude is probably not going to be in the UFC for much longer. Where Daniel Santos, I just think he has the power advantage. He does have a few things that I like. This is 145-pound weight. He's staying at featherweight, where I think it's solid for him. It seems like he could cut even more if he wanted to, but if he does dial in the weight cut, I think that he should hold some pretty significant advantages here. I think he is a little bit more durable and hits a little bit harder, which is going to count for pretty much everything in this fight. 35-year-old Doo Ho Choi, I don't have much faith in. I remember he put on one of the best fights that me and you have ever seen in person at Buffalo Wild Wings, and we were screaming our heads off. So there is a special place in my heart for Doo Ho Choi, but unfortunately, I think he's here to get demolished by Daniel Santos. So I might find a bet on Daniel Santos. I despise him, so maybe I don't. Moving on to my fight of the night, we go to 135 pounds. Timmy Cuamba taking on Benardo Sopaj. I picked this fight because it is so hard to pick a side here, man. I do have Sopaj in the fantasy league, so I'm trying to set that aside, not take any bias into this breakdown. But the biggest thing that I see is Sopaj, 25 years old. He had that loss to Vinicius Oliveira, who's a much higher caliber opponent than I think anybody Timmy Cuamba's fought. Being only 25 and getting that first loss, he comes into his next fight against Ricky Tercios, maybe a little bit hesitant. But Tercios is one of these guys where he kind of fights up to his competition. Any given night, I think he could hang with anybody on the roster. And I think he had a good showing of himself, and Sopaj was still able to do enough to get that win, which I think speaks volume. A lot of people are trying to knock him for not finishing somebody like Ricky Tercios, but I think Ricky's a whole lot trickier than people expect. Or on the Timmy Cuamba side, I look at the guys that he's come in at. The late notice fight against Balaji was a great showing, but Balaji really isn't that high a caliber opponent. Same thing with Lucas Almeida. Lucas Almeida rocks him. Lucas Almeida in general, just not the highest caliber opponent. Roberto Romero, not UFC caliber. Cheng Ho Lee, you can create a game plan for somebody who is one-dimensional, and that is not who Benardo Sopaj is. Sopaj is super well-rounded. I think that he does have a power advantage here. I think if he winds up on top, he will be able to collect some minutes. Timmy Cuamba might come in as a little bit bigger fighter, maybe a little bit faster, which is the biggest concern for me. But I think that Sopaj is going to be able to win more moments and get a split decision win. I think that this is going to be the closest of margins, which is why I'm not laying the juice on Sopaj. But truth be told, it's going to take a special fighter for me to bet against Sopaj, and Cuamba just doesn't cut it for me right now. So.
Yeah, man, I told you before we started when we kind of briefly talked about it. Sopaj reminds me of a lesser Ilia Topuria, man. They throw the same, like everything's sharp coming from him, and I like that same side probably. Fight of the night for me, Malcolm Wellmaker, Juan Diaz. I think the fight comes down to if Juan Diaz can take it or not, man. You know, if Juan Diaz can't take it, fight's probably going to be over early. Malcolm's got just next level power for the bantamweight division. Great athlete. Good speed, really solid counter wrestler as well. My knock on Malcolm Wellmaker is just kind of, the process to his game. Like if Malcolm Wellmaker doesn't find the KO or a knockdown to really swing around, he might have gotten by with it at the regional scene, but it's hard for me to see him winning clear-cut decisions at the highest level. He just doesn't have the output at sometimes. He doesn't have the offensive wrestling to fall back on if it's needed. So, I have some knocks on Malcolm Wellmaker, but I do think a loss, the loss to Ethan Ewing, when it first happened, it was like, oh shit, that might have been a bad loss. And now it looks like a loss we can easily overlook. Ethan Ewing looks really, really good. And so I think it could have served Malcolm Wellmaker good, make him go back to work, put the head down. And, when you're just knocking all these guys out in the UFC in round one, it could probably get to your head a little bit. So I think a loss probably did him good. Man, if Juan Diaz can take the shots here, he's north of plus 200, and I think that can start to look like a little bit of value, man. Like, he's a solid boxer himself. I think he's going to have the better volume. He's 4 years younger. He's got the more experience. He's got all the grappling upside here, pretty decent submission grappler, and great cardio, dude. Like, this guy's been 5 rounds on numerous occasions. He's 7-1 to the decision. I don't know, man. This fight to me just seems a bit closer than the odds if it gets extended. But at the end of the day, dude, 10-1 versus 15-1. We got the guy who's highlighted the year on the Contender Series. Excited to see how Malcolm responds from the first loss. If it's a finish, I lean him. I was looking at a bet just solely because of Malcolm's power, man. I was kind of looking at the Diaz decision only at plus 180. I think if this fight goes the distance, I think there's clear value on the underdog, and I'd be happy to just get my bet back if he gets flatlined early. So I kind of wanted to mention that bet, even though I'm not going to talk about it even more. I think that might be the best play on this fight. But yeah, neither one of them have ever been finished before. So that kind of reinforces my kind of eye on Diaz decision only. I think it's a close fight. I think it's a good fight between two good prospects. I think the value's on the dog, but man, I kind of want to see Malcolm Wellmaker just to get another KO. He's clearly the more exciting fighter to me. So I'll go Malcolm Wellmaker. But yeah.
This close to coming into our next section of the fight card with Juan Diaz as my underdog of the night. I love the Juan Diaz decision only at plus 180. You're only losing about 50 cents worth of value, and I think it's pretty safe. If he gets out of that first round, I think he has an incredible chance to win the fight, almost coin flip. So give me the plus 180. I love that, dude. That's great. But even if not, I'll have a unit on Juan Diaz plus 234. I think the line's off. I don't think Wellmaker's that great. Take out the highlights. He's pretty one-dimensional and over 30 years old. Juan Diaz, 27 years old, making a lot of improvements. Yeah, I like the dog spot as well. My actual dog of the card, my girl, Pollyanna Viana.
I knew it. I knew it.
Dude, I think that odds makers are out of their fucking mind, dude. Alice Ardeline is not a UFC caliber opponent, and she is running into one of the most aggressive submission finishing women on the roster in Pollyanna Viana. Pollyanna is able to submit some of the best girls on any given night. She's just run into a terrible matchmaking.
Right.
I mean, what are you going to do against Tabitha Ritchie, Yasmin Lucindo, Jillian Robertson, Jacqueline Amorum? Like, those are just terrible matchups for her, and she's getting punished on this line because of it. Elise Ardeline has lucked in to a few of her last matchups. Why is Bunny Ruiz on the roster anymore? Why is I love Rayando Santos. We saw her in Louisville. I mean, this is just – I like her a lot, but she's not UFC caliber.
She lost to Shauna Bannon.
She lost to Shauna Bannon. There's the two losses that she has in Melissa Martinez and Shauna Bannon. I would take Pollyanna Viana over as well. So, like, give me Pollyanna Viana here. I've got another bet later on. I've actually already placed it. Pollyanna Viana is about to come in here and rip the fucking limbs off of Elise Ardeline. I'm not kidding. I think it's an absolute lock. I've got her in fantasy league. I saw this from a mile away, and I honestly can't believe the odds that we're getting. We got the under with oh my god. I don't want to give up too much, but yes, this fight I think is just lined wrong in so many directions. Give me Pollyanna Viana. If she loses, it is what it is. We're talking about lower level MMA, women's MMA, but I think that this is a spot where we could really get some money back on it.
Yeah, I was just about to – I know you might talk about it, but I was just about to say she's never won a decision, and the under's plus money. So we got to look at this fight some other ways too. Dude, I think I'm going to stay with a girl. I think I'm going to go Ketlin Vieira. I got her at plus 145. She's still around plus 140. And this is coming from somebody who's max bet Jacqueline Cavalcanti before in a parlay. Like, I think Cavalcanti is a good prospect, but you can say that – judges don't reward Ketlin Vieira's grappling at times. Well, judges don't reward Jacqueline Cavalcanti's style at all. I mean, she's going to split decisions with with Josiane Nunez and Nora Cornelly and stuff. Like, the judges clearly don't value her style, man. She's pitter-patter on the outsides, missing with a lot of shots. Like, all the power upsides on the Ketlin Vieira side, I think she's so much more physical in the clinch. If she gets Jacqueline Cavalcanti down, I don't think she submits her, but that's the round. I don't think she's getting up from under Ketlin Vieira, and the competition level is just night and day. We're talking about a girl with Josiane Nunez, Zara Farran, trash, dude. Julia Avila, trash, dude. Ketlin Vieira is literally fighting the cream of the crop of the division. The Holly Holmes, the Kayla Harrisons, the Norma Dumont. I don't know, man. I got to think at plus money, Ketlin Vieira is 100% the side for me. So I like the Poly Viana side as well, but give me Ketlin Vieira for another dog this week.
I like it, man. What are we on? Our parlay piece?
Yeah.
Okay. Gross. Modestas Bukauskas? I guess. I mean, look, in his last fight, little bit tough, but man, I was kind of upset because I had bet Nikita Krylov a couple of times trying to win because I know that he's an excellent fighter, but I bet him against Dominic Reyes. I bet him against Bogdan Guskov, and he didn't pull through for me. And then, of course, against Modestas Bukauskas, I have a great line to play him. I avoid it, and he just,
dominates.
What was that?
Dominates
Modestas Bukauskas. Right now, I think that Christian Edwards is less than UFC caliber. He's lost to guys that nobody in the UFC should be losing to on the Bellator scene. And I think he's lucky to get the call up here. Modestas Bukauskas has gone through a full camp. I understand that career-wise, it's been a little bit up and down. But right now, I think that he beats pretty much any mid to lower caliber UFC fighter on the roster. And this Christian Edwards certainly falls into that category. I think we're honestly getting a pretty favorable price tag. I'm seeing minus 325 to add him into any parlay and feel relatively safe doing so.
For me, I took it at minus like 205 and she's minus 290 now. And Nicole Cagliari in the first fight of the night, I just plain and simple, I think Shauna Bannon sucks so bad, dude. That's one of the girls that I will fade every chance I get in the UFC. Like a small Taekwondo background, pitter-patter kicks from the outside. Like she has no hands, she has no power, she has no defensive grappling, and the Apex cage is going to give her no space to use her Taekwondo game. Like Cagliari is just going to go forward and probably maul, honestly. Like she's going to take away the space. The power difference is going to be evident. The skill difference on the mat will be noticeable the moment it hits there. And I think Cagliari gets on top and just absolutely rolls. This is a massive step down from her previous 2 UFC fights. I know she's 0-2 in the UFC, but I think she finishes Shauna Bannon on Saturday or just mollywops her on top for 15 minutes. So I took Arnold Allen and Nicole Cagliari at plus money.
I like it, man. So I've kind of already alluded to it a little bit. My best bet is going to be the under in the Polyana Viana Alyssa Ardeline fight.
Yeah.
Polyana Viana comes in with a head of steam. She's from the Alyssa Ardeline side. I think we're getting such a favorable line because she's gone to decision in her last 4. But when you look at the type of girls that she's fighting in Shauna Bannon, Melissa Martinez, Rayen Dos Santos, and Montserrat Ruiz, they are trying to get it to the judges' scorecards. I mean, it is obvious that is the styles make matchups. And here against Polyana Viana, from the jump, she is going to be coming in looking to kill this girl. And it's a kill or be killed type situation. I think that there are situations where Alyssa Ardeline does get on top, starts throwing down some ground and pound, and we see a stoppage from her side. And then on the flip side, I think that there's opportunities for Polyana Viana to land one of those kill shots on the feet, club and sub, or just get a nasty arm bar and submit her early. So give me the under. The fight doesn't go to the distance for plus 150, I think is what it's sitting at. That'll be my best bet of the night, man.
I will probably be there with you. If Polyana's going to hit it, it's going to be inside the distance. She's never won a decision. And, with the volume and shit that Ardeline's been putting up, I feel like the finish is on the table there too. I like it.
We don't get to talk about it, but on top of that, I've already put one whole unit on Polyana Viana by submission at plus 600. So I believe in it. I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and I think that she hits that for me. So
fingers crossed, man. I'm going to go Arnold Allen. I got him bet at minus 185 or whatever. I got him bet at minus 166, and if it hits plus money, I think my hand's going to be forced again. I talked about it, in the main event, so you can kind of go back there if you want a real in-depth. But Costa's got some decent volume. He's looking in career best form. But to me, this is just too big of a step up in competition. His southpaw advantage is taken away. Massive step down for Allen. And I just think he's drawn dead to some type of, honestly, fluke KO, almost like he's gotten in his last 2. I just feel like there's so many areas of this fight that I favor Arnold Allen. And if he can get through those first 2 rounds, I feel like he can cruise down the back half of this fight and cash pretty easy. So I was quite shocked to see the line move against me like this. I expected Arnold Allen to close north of minus 200. So to feel that good about a spot, I almost feel like I got to take advantage of it. Arnold Allen, best bet this week. Appreciate you guys hanging out as always. Yeah.
Got quick picks.
Completely forgot.
Yeah, quick picks. When you pick them, give me your best bet of the fight too, just real quick. Shauna Ban and Nicole Kalari. I like the under in that fight too, man. I think there's a good chance that the under hits and it's plus 250.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you. I think you could be greedy there. I think you could go Cagliari inside the distance for even better line. I don't think the finish is coming on the Bandon side whatsoever. So I like Cagliari inside the distance. Daniel Barres, Luis Garule. Look, I understand the back half of this fight might favor Garule, but the first 7 minutes of this fight is going to favor the guy at plus money. He's way faster. He's got the way better boxing, and I think he could finish. So, dude, I don't know. Daniel Barres plus money as this line continues to grow. That's the side for me. I'm not laying juice on the guy who's lost 3 UFC fights and had what's his name, Jesus Aguilar. Literally, like Jose Aguilar landed like 70 something strikes on this guy. Like Daniel Barres may lay 70 in round 1. I don't know. Yeah, plus money.
Yeah, side. Danny Barres money line for sure. Elise Ardeline, Pollyanna Vienna. I've got Pollyanna here. I think she submits her early, and we hit all 3 bets: money line, submission, under. They all cash.
What is Polly sub 1? Because I know she like always gets it done in the first round.
That is very true. I don't
sub
know.
1 plus 1100. I mean, yeah, I'll probably be on the under. Doesn't go the distance with you there. I like that. Shit fight of shit fights. Petrosky, Brundage. I mean, gets knocked out by hips. Slams, headbutts, back of the head shots. I mean, this is the craziest fight in UFC history. I think Andre could dominate with the grappling. I'm just being honest. I think he could dominate with the grappling. I think he could lock up a front choke on Cody Brundage. I'll never lay the juice though. I'll go Andre.
I mean, I'll take Brundage at whatever plus 180 just to slip up, like to get another banana peel slip finish, So give me the underdog and Cody Brundage money line. Ketlin Vieira, Jacqueline Cavalcante. I have to agree, man. I like the Ketlin Vieira side, and probably just straight up, we're getting plus money. Just give me the Ketlin Vieira money line.
Look at their Tapology pictures, dude. Fuck, dude. I'm taking that bitch. Plus 136 all day. Ketlin Vieira, I think she's gonna find top time and win the decision here. Tommy Gant, Artur Miniev. There's like a 10-year age gap here, dude. And
how do you know? There's no age on Artur Miniev.
Oh, I saw on Twitter where he's literally like 24 or something, 25. Okay. Yeah, I saw where he's pretty young. I think Miniev KO might be the best bet on this fight, but I'm excited for Tommy Gant's future. I think he's built like a specimen that could go far and has the wrestling to back it up. Just timing's got to be now at his age.
Yeah, give me Tommy Gant as well. DC's boy.
Yeah.
Tuco Tucos versus Ivan Urslan. Give me Tuco Tucos here. I think he could grapple him. I don't like Ivan at all. I think he's a little past his prime. I like Tuco Tucos, who's also past his prime. I just think that I could see him grappling here. So give me Tuco Tucos. And I know that's a little bit of a hot take, but I like it.
I'm on the Urslan side. I think Urslan TKO at plus money is probably how this fight ends. Chaos Williams, Nikolai Veretinnikov. Pretty controversial fight, man. I've kind of seen people all over the place with this one. Not a Nikolai Veretinnikov guy. Just by being honest with you, man, I don't think the guy's very good. I think he's kind of a gasser. And, dude, I mean, he's got to be careful. I know he's a bit more technical, but if you get cracked by Chaos Williams, it could be night-night. So I like Chaos here.
I think Veretinnikov is going to fuck up Chaos. I really do. I think you got to dodge him being an idiot because he does it in like half the fights that he is. But it's like Cody Brundage, if there's a matchup where he's supposed to win, I think we're getting excellent odds. There was a time where Veretinnikov was a minus 235 against Michael Morales in the Contender Series. Yeah. Veretinnikov is a very good technical fighter. He just makes striker, sure, but he makes bad decisions in the octagon. Chaos Williams is a realtor. He's selling houses.
Veretinnikov's not going to grapple him.
He's not. So Veretinnikov is about to win this handedly. I really do think so, and I think we're getting a great line on him. He was almost my best bet. I just can't trust him, right? So I might have a unit or two on Veretinnikov for real. Moving up to Timmy Cuamba versus Benardo Sopaj. Broke this down. I've got Sopaj by the slightest advantage. I think he gets the split decision.
I'm on the Sopaj side as well, but I really don't have a hot take on that one. Modestas versus Christian Edwards. It's at 215 because Christian Edwards is coming off the couch. Honestly, like I looked online and I don't seem like this guy was ready for a fight. And, Modestas was already training on this fight card. So I think at minus 300, Modestas probably comes through. Yeah. It's hard to pick finishes with him because he can be a decision machine at times. But I think Moneyline honestly might just be the safest play with him.
Yeah, I got the Modestas Bukauskas money line as well as a parlay piece. Moving on, featured bout of the evening, Malcolm Wellmaker versus Juan Diaz. Give me Juan Diaz here. I don't think Malcolm Wellmaker is that good. He looks great whenever he finishes it early, but otherwise I think he's pretty limited in the skill set. Ethan Ewing is good, but I think there's a lot of people in the UFC that can take the shot on the chin. This Peruvian Juan Diaz is one of those guys who I think technique-wise down the stretch, he's going to pull through. Give me Juan Diaz money line. I love the decision only. I'm on the Juan Diaz side.
100% to me, the value's on the dog. So I'm gonna pick the dog Juan Diaz with you as well, and I'll probably have a unit on the plus 180 decision only. Du Ho Choi, Daniel Santos. Another super close one to me, man. And I feel like the later it goes, the pace and the volume of Daniel Santos could win in this fight. But I think the technicality early gives Du Ho Choi a really solid advantage. So I'll take Du Ho Choi. We'll split sides here.
Yeah, give me the Daniel Santos fight. I just think that he's going to hit a little bit harder, has a little bit more durability. Du Ho Choi, a little over the hill. And then the main event, Arnold Allen versus Melky Costa. I think this is the spot where we can fade Melky Costa, and we're getting an excellent line as the line continues to drop. So give me Arnold Allen for this Saturday.
Arnold Allen all day, man. Here we go.
Last thing, I do just want some of your opinions. You just have to tell me who you got. Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano.
Oh, dude, has Carano fought since we were even in middle school, high school? Like I got Ronda Rousey.
Okay, same, unfortunately. Nate Diaz, Mike Perry.
Mike Perry.
Mike Perry beats the shit out of Nate Diaz real bad. I think he's only a minus 180 or something like that.
I think it's, yeah.
Francis Ngannou, Felipe Lins.
Francis under 1.5. I saw them two face off, and it was like, God.
I know, but if Felipe does get him down, I think he could do some work, right? Yeah. Like, I really do. But Francis, yeah, I'll take Francis as long as he's alive. All right, that's about all I really. Junior Dos Santos, Rebellis Despain, actually.
Despain is never the answer, dude. Despain's never the answer.
Is he though against 42-year-old Junior Dos Santos?
Probably gonna get some wild ass fluke knockout clipped off the top of the head, something early. I don't know. I don't think Despain's good. That's the guy you got to watch out from getting taken down.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. It's going to be a good card, man. There's a few more fighters on the card that I'm willing to watch, so I'll be having dual screen if need be.
100%, man. And the UFC knew what they were doing, kind of putting this card together when they were going head-to-head with Netflix. 328 last week. Well, yeah, shit card this week.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. All 13 fights we ran through, best spots. Make sure to like and subscribe. We're off next week. See you in 2 weeks.
Peace.